photography is something I've always enjoyed. I think everyone enjoys photography. Left the corporate world, bought some equipment, self-taught, threw myself on the market, and you know, now is it 12, 13 years later, I just love what I'm doing. It's a great way to travel. It's a great way to meet a lot of interesting people. And then I work with a lot of athletes, and I think what I really enjoy, the thing with working with athletes, they're very inspiring stories, and I think I get a lot of enjoyment working with athletes as well. You know, I got really excited when I heard that Dakar was coming to Saudi. I think that's kind of home terrain. You know, I used to live here as a kid. What was that? I think 82 to 84. So you know, 7 to 9 years old. So a young boy. And I started coming here in Saudi since 2002. What Dakar has done is kind of opened up Saudi in a different way for me. You know, I've seen Riyadh, I've seen Jeddah. What's happened on Dakar is I've been to places that are stunning. You know, the mountains up in the north, was that towards Al Ula and Neum, are absolutely breathtaking. You know, I would love to come back here just from a mountain experience alone. So how is daily life in Dakar as a photographer? Yeah, it starts early. Yeah, the race starts somewhere between 7 and 8, and often, you know, it's an hour's drive from camp. That means you got to get onto locations before the guys start. So often an alarm bell goes off 4:30. We jump in a car at 5. We drive into locations. I'm quite keen to get a little bit deeper in, but just to make sure that we catch enough dunes. But when I look at the map, there's just a small patch of dunes, and then there's a big open flat area, and then there's some dunes further down. I'm not sure if the route's going to go in there. So here we are, blue spot. That's where we are now. Race start. They're going to head south. Well, let's drive in and see what happens. There's cars are here, and then you get into the desert or in the mountains, and then you kind of know that you're on the rally route, the live rally route. But I don't know where the guy's going to come from. You have a rough direction, but you know, they could be anywhere. So it's a bit of, you know, the first bike you hear or the first car you hear, you kind of, where they're going, and you know, once the first one is passed, and hopefully you capture the first one, you try to get a feel of what's happening. So you probably spend about 3 hours on location, shooting the motorbike, shooting the cars, kind of get in, you know, work on a wide shot, then get in a little bit closer, work on a tighter shot, move to a different location. So you're really trying to, in that 3 hours, try to get as much variety of shots as you can. The trucks are just mean weapons, and not per se nice to shoot. And a bit unpredictable, you know, they're just big mean machines coming through it. And then obviously, you know, the local community comes out as well, and there's a lot of enthusiasm from the Saudi locals just to sort of see what's happening. There's a lot of curiosity to see, you know, what are the cars and why and fast and things like that. And you know, I've got some nice photographs of, you know, local gentlemen in Kandura and Distash just sort of enjoying the race, which is amazing content to get. I think the key thing about expeditions and big trips is that you got to be as self-sufficient as you can be. So, you know, you bring your own tent, your own sleeping bag, your own gear, your own everything, and your own coffee machine. Oh. So this is the joys of being out in the desert. And then, you know, once you're done, you know, you start downloading imagery, put it on your laptop, spend another couple of hours editing, get it all across. From the helicopter, you just get a whole different perspective. You know, obviously, you know, it makes it more landscapey style if you kind of shoot wide. But you know, if you see graphical lines and you see beauty, it's just nice to shoot with a tight lens as well, because you can kind of isolate it in a different way. To a certain extent, I think aerial photography is different than shooting on the ground. You know, if you shoot on the ground, the car comes, you know, it's gone, and you've got to make sure that you got the photo. You know, he's not going to come back and do it again. So you get one chance at it. Yeah, once you're doing kind of area work, you have a bit more time. But then, you know, you're not in control of where you're moving. Obviously the helicopter moves, so you got to preempt movements to see how you're going to frame the photo. So I think it's, yeah, I love both. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoy sitting in a helicopter. There's something great about that. Woohoo! It's never boring, eh? You're riding helicopters never gets boring. Wow. Such a beautiful scenery. Saudi's got something really pretty to offer. So how do you capture the toughest and the biggest rally in the world? So the way to capture it is really sort of work on that human emotion. You know, fair enough, I got a lot of beautiful shots of cars flying and airborne, and so that doesn't really show the toughness of it. It shows beautiful driving. Where it comes to being the toughest is when you start shooting faces that are absolutely worn down, where people are just broken. And I think that's when you kind of capture the essence of Dakar, when you have that kind of tired, worn down facial expression. So someone would ask me, what's Dakar in 3 words? I think it would be a combination of beauty. I knew there was going to be magic and beauty in the empty quarter. You know, there's some real beauty up in the mountains. It's a story of change. I've seen Saudi for many years. I've been coming and going here, and I think especially when you look at the last 1 or 2 years, there's been a lot of change in Saudi. You know, when it comes to visas, when it comes to travel, opening up as they're talking about it. And then for me, it's kind of the adventure. You know, I love to travel the world. I love to go to new places, and I think Dakar has allowed a very unique Saudi experience, which otherwise I don't think I've ever would have seen.